Welcome back to another shift here at the Intensive Car Unit. On today's episode, we're going to take Project Super Bronco, and we're going to be moving the fuel tank from under the frame to on top of the frame. That way we've got a little bit more ground clearance for when we go off bigger cliffs than we should. So stick around. Now you're probably asking yourself, Tyler, why are we going through the effort of moving the fuel tank behind the cab when you're going to be swapping over to a Bronco body? And that's ultimately decided by one thing. I don't have a Bronco body yet. The truck can be wheeled right now with a couple of easy things that otherwise we can knock out and make the vehicle a little bit more usable, and I can start chasing out any problems we might have, as well as I can test fit bigger tires. If I want to do any framework or anything like that, or maybe even try and start planning out some of the other things like shortening the wheelbase and stuff like that. So ultimately, the reason why I'm doing this is so I can still get back out on the trails and still have fun, unlike the Project Toyota, which, yeah, that's a whole nother story. Now you might be wondering why I have to move the fuel tank. Well, the fuel tank actually sits below the factory frame rail. And the frame rail goes up as it goes back to the backside of the vehicle. And because of that, we can take some pretty nasty strikes when we go off of larger rocks and cliffs and boulders and stuff like that. And we don't want to poke through the fuel tank. That'd be bad. That'd make me sad. And we don't want that. And then we're going to put the tank right behind the cab. And you might be thinking, Tyler, that's stupid. But guess what? It's redneck stuff. As you can see here, here's center line right about there. And from that center line to here is about 17 inches. So I've had to account for that over there. That's actually going to be the front half of the fuel tank. And then this side you can see is offset from here all the way out to here. And the fuel tank should line up right about this spot. That way as I'm rubbing over trees and stuff, it doesn't just go straight into the fuel tank. So that's what I'm doing next. Okay, I need to apologize first and foremost. The last thing I showed you was cutting off the fuel lines. I ran out of time recording that day, had to push the truck outside up a hill. It's 7,300 pounds. Actually, no, that's a lie. It's about 6,400 pounds now that we cut the bed off. With all of that said, had to push it out because I had no fuel pressure because the tank was disconnected. And was fighting daylight plus rain and all that stuff. Anyways, fast forward. I went ahead and got all the fuel lines ran. I went ahead and got the fuel tank ran on top. It's still not welded in place, and I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. It is literally just sitting on top of that cross member right there. But I was able to get everything routed. I ended up shortening this hose. I still got a lot of polishing to do with everything I'm doing, but it will sit up here nice and neat. The truck does run. Now that the fuel pump's wired, we need to go ahead and actually finish securing the fuel tank with the factory strap. And the way we're going to go about doing that is kind of convoluted, ghetto, trashy, rednecky. But you know what? That's what we're here for, because this thing isn't the science project. This guy is. So the factory strap is actually built to suspend the tank up. But what we're going to do is we're going to use it up over the top. So I'm going to build a bracket from here to here, bolt it on here, and then come over here. We're going to shorten this guy down to where it bolts in right here. And that should be the clamping force. So here we go. That strap comes up and over. It still retains its ability to be strapped on and off. And then it's a nice, snug, tight fit for here. So we can wrap this project up. And with that, the fuel tank's been moved. Still have a long way to go. A lot of work to do, a lot of things to chase out with this chassis. It is a bit different than what all of the people that I typically run with wheel. So we have a lot of learning to do with this chassis, which is fun, but different because I'm like 30 inches longer than even our biggest rig. As far as all that side of stuff goes, we still have a lot more things to do on this thing in preparation for the body swap. One thing you guys will know, unfortunately, is work has been a little bit busy for me. So some of these videos you'll notice, it'll be springtime and summer and all of that, while filming and everything like that, like this video right here, is actually happening, you know, right now in December. So I am getting through some of those videos, getting them processed, getting them edited, and hopefully getting them posted in a relatively short period of time. So as always, thank you again for watching. I appreciate your comments. I look forward to them. I try to respond to every single one. And as always, please stay safe.